All right, everybody, Rob Ferrari here, and you may recognize this. This is technically a fourth Ferrari. It's not really because I sold it. I sold this probably about a month ago, actually. And now we're gonna break it down. And if I guess you're like, well, if you sold it a month ago, why is it still there? Well, that's easy because I'm a good guy to buy a car from, because I sold it and I gave him two options. I said, look, I'll sell it and I'll give you a clutch and a box. And I'll get to the clutch in a minute. The car, while it was cold, the throw-out bearing was sticking. So it still had plenty of clutch life. It was like 60% clutch life remaining. But it was a little bit, until it got warm, it was a little sluggish with the engagement point when it was cold. So I said, I'll either put a new clutch in it now, but that doesn't really make sense. You might as well, you're not going to ruin the clutch by having the other clutch. And even if you get a year, 2 years out of it, you got a new clutch sitting in a box. All you do is pay for the labor. You get yourself a new clutch. But he elected to have me swap the clutch. I did everything, I did all the little stuff. And I sold the car. It was $16,000 less than I paid for it. So I sold this car for, it's a loss right there, because I really just sat on it for a couple of years. I also carried a loan on it, but it was a pen fed, so the interest wasn't really that bad. So when you start digging into this, it wasn't a great purchase, but I didn't get into it thinking it'll be a great purchase. And even beyond that, I put money into taking care of the car to make it as close to perfect as possible so the new owner will have a great experience. And that's just one of those things that, for me, I like to do it. I'd like if somebody did that for me. It never happens. I'm always chasing people for floor mats and second keys, but I got the car right. The top, there was a little alignment issue on the passenger side, and in that flat tire video, you may have recognized that this didn't sit perfectly. So I repainted that piece on the top. The rear diffuser was repainted. The top alignment is now fixed. It's all repaired. And I put the new clutch in it. And the car, I put new tires on it. These are brand new tires, all four, all around. So he's got one brand new set of tires, brand new clutch, new throw-out bearing, and he's gonna have like pretty much a turnkey, workable, perfect car. I did the paint correction detail on that. I mean, the car is, now it's obviously, it just got out of the service bay. I'm gonna help him ship it out to, I think he's in Wisconsin, but we'll get that thing detailed up on a truck and off to where he's going. And when I say detailed up, $200 detail, not another paint correction. I already did that. But I mean, I've spent now clutch, throw-out bearing, labor, probably $6,500 post-sale just to get the car right. So I mean, really, when you do that, when you take that it was $16,000 depreciation, it's like $23,000, probably close to $30,000 to not drive the car for very much over a couple of years. So not my finest purchase, but again, I bought that to buy favor. There you go. Bought that to buy. That's Cosmo over there. Is that? Do you need the air drill for the tail light? Oh yeah, there we go. Thrust it. He fixes my cars. Here's the here's what we're looking at. This is the old throw-out bearing. Now, obviously, you'll see it was leaking and all crusted out, which is why. And I don't see where the leaking point was, but this was really the main issue. But when it gets hot, it was nice and throw-out bearing-y. So really, you took this essentially perfectly good clutch. It had about 65% life left on it. Because of this throw-out bearing, when you go in and do the labor for the throw-out bearing, it makes sense to do the clutch because you're essentially doing a clutch job without taking out the clutch. I just threw a new one in there as part of the sale. So not my finest purchase, but I bought it thinking that because I had to get my 488 allocation. But such is life. That's the game you play with Ferraris. You win some, you lose some. And like that one, that 360 under the under the car cover over there, I think I won pretty good on that one. So it all evens out in the end. If you see the other 360s I've owned and some of the other cars I've owned, make a couple of bucks in the end, or it cost me $100 a month to have a Ferrari for 4 years. So when you look at those, you'll understand that like this one is pretty much a solid hit. This Ferrari essentially cost me about let's just say $800 a month for the last 3 years to own it, and the next guy wins, but I didn't. So there you go. Just a quick walkthrough as to what transpired on this car, why I have it a month after it was sold, and why I'm a good guy to buy cars off of, because most people would just do as is, haha, you're on your own. And I'm not most guys. I'd rather not somebody ever say that I tried to screw them on something. So there you have it. Thank you guys for watching. Big update coming. You know that video you all been waiting on? What happened at Gotham? Guess what? We're dropping that pretty soon. So something to look forward to. It'll be in the next week. And believe it or not, this clutch still has a value. I'm keeping the clutch. And I'll either throw it on eBay or I'll do something with it. But this will still probably, as a used clutch, and probably I would say the throw-up bearing maybe rebuildable, probably worth $1,000. So we'd knock that off the tab if I end up selling it. But knowing me, it's going to end up in the storage unit with all the other stuff they take off and sit there. It's like, oh cool, I have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of takeoff parts. Great, I don't do anything with them. They just sit. So until I wait for that guy to come along and scoop up a Lambo engine and whatnot, I'd pile them up. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.